Well, good morning.
What's with my hair? It's Curt and Jen in the morning.
This one?
Happy Monday.
I was like,
that
yay!
one. What is that? It's just
Is it this
flying in
one?
the wind.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Yes, it is Curt and Jen in the morning. Hopefully you're listening in the morning, afternoon, evening. We don't care. We just call it in the morning for everybody's
because
convenience.
we were a morning show. Let's just...
Yeah, way back
like
when. How long has it been now?
Thing.
6 weeks? 5 weeks? Well, April 1st until now. So we've been enjoying doing this podcast for us, actually. I'd like to think it's for us.
It really is. It's for us, and hopefully you are enjoying it.
If you are enjoying it, please feel free to share and to let friends know about it and to follow and to like and to...
anything that you can to help us out.
As Jen says, all the things.
All the things.
We do appreciate all the things.
How was your weekend?
The weekend was awesome, as you may recall from Friday. It was all that long ago, Friday. I had a couple of events that I did. So Friday night, we were at the Suquamish area for the casino there at Clearwater, and raised a bunch of money for the Kitsap Community Foundation.
Awesome.
That was a great night. Thank you. And then on Saturday, Dana and myself, we went to the beach, Chinook, which basically is Long Beach, Washington, right there on the...
Is it like Ocean Shores area?
Yes, exactly. On the beautiful Pacific Ocean.
Nice, Curt.
Raising money for the Dylan Jude Harrell Community Center. Dylan, unfortunately... a little 4-year-old girl who passed away, and they're raising money to this to help out this community center in her name. And the goal was $60,000, and I did the auctioneering, and we raised $120,000. So I was happy about that.
Did?
Yeah, there was, you know what, and it's not me. Thanks to the people in the room for helping out so much and donating so much too. And two things happened while we were there. First of all, I found out as I'm driving. I've never been to Long Beach before. Have you been?
Well, Ocean Shores.
Okay. What a cute little town. And, it's
charming,
like, so we're looking around, and my mother-in-law was with us as well. We kind of made it a fun little vacation weekend as well. And she said, my neighbor Paul owns some land here in Long Beach, and he's thinking about selling it. It's like, why did I not know about this? Talk about a good retirement opportunity.
Buy a plot of land?
Well, we'll see. I don't know anything more about it than that.
What?
Because right away, I'm like, this would be awesome. Even to get a lot, and then because mother-in-law Kathy has an RV, so you just buy a lot, you clear it out.
Is it literally right on the beach?
It's a block from the beach, so
so
we'll see if that pans out. But I was like,
okay, that's exciting.
I'm glad I found that out, and also I met Mr. Knight. Mr. Knight is the son, obviously, of his parents, or Mr. and Mrs. Knight, and they had their son born on a Friday, so they named him Friday Knight.
You're lying.
Friday, Knight. I love that. You can moan all you want and groan.
The kid's name is Friday?
Well, he's 50-something now.
The guy's name is Friday?
Friday Knight.
Does he go by Friday?
He goes by Friday Knight. Yes, that's his name.
I don't know if he has a nickname like Fry Guy.
Well, I think that...
I don't even know.
Being Friday Knight, you don't really need a nickname, I don't think.
Friday Night. You're right. Okay.
So, it was very nice meeting you Friday night. That sounds like I met somebody on Friday night.
I know. Yes, I was just thinking in my mind.
He was a cool guy. Very much.
Friday night. No, who did you go out with?
Friday night. Yeah. So perhaps our paths will cross again. Friday night. Legit. How about your weekend?
Okay, so my daughter Macy, who's in high school, she had a play.
Okay.
So I went to that.
Can I ask her what her role in the play is? She's not like tree number 2, is she?
This was the senior one act. She did not have very big roles.
She had more than one role?
Well, because they're one act, so there's several. There's a series of them, and they had to do it in 2 parts because there were 6 one acts. So they did 3 one night and 3 another night, and then on Saturday they did 3 at 3 o'clock, and then the other 3 at 7 o'clock.
I honestly thought it'd be a quick answer, like she was the cloud.
No. She was one of those. She didn't call it a walk-on part, but it's just like she carried bags across the stage for one of them, and I'm like,
was it a non-speaking part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kurt, it was.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But all actors
are important parts.
They all
yes.
make the show, and I get that. And then on another one, she was on stage for maybe like 3 to 5 minutes.
I'd love you to say, I waited 2 hours for this. There goes my daughter carrying a basket on. Okay, now she's gone.
Oh, wait. I didn't even have time to get my camera out.
But did she nail it?
She nailed it.
Okay. All right. Good job, Macy.
She does a great job. Yeah. And then on Saturday, we spent the day in Cedar Woolley.
Okay.
Pat and then my two really good friends. Well, my best friend, Sharon.
Oh, that was the tea party.
No,
sorry.
That was we toured them around Cedar Woolley. I've decided that Pat's next job after he retires from the fire department is going to be tour guide of Cedar Woolley.
All right.
Because he's gotten pretty good at it. And then, yesterday, the tea party.
Okay. On Friday, you were looking for
crumpets.
Where do I buy crumpets?
You can buy, and thank you for your suggestions. I found them at Town and Country Grocery Store.
Okay.
Right down the street.
Was it in a sort of British section?
I don't know because I had them put it on hold for me and I had firefighter Pat pick them up for me.
I honestly think I've been, and I don't remember which one, I'll be honest about that, but I believe that there is a chain grocery store around here somewhere that actually has a international section, and part of it is,
British?
Yeah, and you can get, it's not just for crumpets and British type stuff. It's more like, stuff you can only get in Britain, like the British version of Oreos or whatever, the British version of these different things,
Well, here's the thing. I also made something I'd never heard of before, and that's clotted cream.
That doesn't sound delicious.
It takes 12 hours to bake in the oven.
Yeah.
And then you have to put it in the refrigerator at least overnight.
Clotted, clotted?
Yeah, clotted cream.
I've not heard of it, but is it delish?
Yeah.
Okay.
I made homemade scones, and it had some jam on it with the clotted cream. It was so good.
All right.
It was a fun time. And, one of the women, they were just some of my very closest friends. And one of the women there said, you know what? If this was the round table for the world, we would get a lot of stuff done. I mean, it's just a lot of amazing women that are smart and thoughtful and
girls rule the world, right?
Well, I mean, if we could run the world, it would be a different, better place.
This sounds very Bridgerton to me. This whole party.
Speaking of that, do you know how many people at that party, at my tea party, talked about Bridgerton? And said, have you watched it, Jen? I'm like, I have not seen one single episode. And they're like, what?
Let me just say, season 1. This is when, were we doing the show? No, we weren't. I was told to watch this. I was like, doesn't sound like it'd be for me, because I thought, what was the one before that? The British aristocrats? I'll think of it.
Aristocrats?
No, that's not what it's called. Downton Abbey.
Oh, yeah, I never watched one of those either.
I did, and I was like, this is boring. But Bridgerton is much more
hot and steamy. I heard that I'm going to get, can I even say this, Ladywood?
I had not heard about Ladywood.
I hadn't heard that word either, but I'm okay.
Based on the first season, I think that, yes, the Ladywood will be in order. So you're going to watch Bridgerton now, right?
I don't know when, but yes.
Okay.
I am going to. And I've got to have, apparently, Pat on standby.
With some clotted cream. All right.
We got to move on.
Speaking of clotted cream, no, we're not. Just in.
Yes.
Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy. And
which I don't really, that doesn't mean a lot to me,
right,
except for their biscuits.
Well, that's written on here. There's a little blurb about they've got $1 billion in debt, less than $30 million in cash, so they're going to sell the business to lenders, and they're going. So again, I don't know why this works out. It's like, well, they declare bankruptcy, but somehow they're still around, so they will still be around in some way, shape, or form. But then it says Red Lobster may be best known for its Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Have you not had their biscuit? Have you been to Red Lobster? Let's start there.
Oh, geez, not for 20 years, maybe?
I mean, it's been a hot second that I've been there.
Yeah.
But, they sell their biscuit mix at Costco.
The Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Yeah.
Amazing?
Amazing.
Would they be good with clotted cream?
No.
Oh, okay.
Clotted cream, I think, is better with, I don't even know. My friend, Lori, said, because I had a half a pan of clotted cream left, and she's like, what are you going to do with that? I'm like, probably throw it away. You want some? And she's like, yes, I want some. She's like, you should keep the rest of it. I'm like, what am I supposed to do with it? She's like, put it on your toast, put it in your coffee, blah, 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 blah. She had all these ideas of what I could do with clotted cream, so I saved it. Do you want me to bring you some?
I would love to try
clotted cream. I
almost said I'd love to try your clotted cream, and I thought,
that sounds nasty, Curt.
Maybe not the best. Okay, so we'll see about Red Lobster. Hopefully they come out of this okay.
And buy their biscuit mix at Costco. I'm going to make those for you. I'm going to make them for you one day. They're delicious. Okay.
We asked on Friday, Would you rather be, there were 3 options. Would you rather be 5 times smarter, be 5 times richer, or 5 times more attractive?
Do you have your answer?
I do have my answer. Should we go first, or should we go with what we heard back from people?
Do some feedback. Who's the feedback? Annie in Bellevue. She said she'd like to be smarter because
5 times smarter. Yeah,
she could be smart enough to make herself richer and more attractive.
All right.
Mine's kind of opposite that. Do you want me to tell you mine? Well, Ricky, he just said he wanted to be more attractive.
Okay. I mean, I to each their own on this as far as it goes.
Mine is.
Let's say ours together on 3. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to say this between be 5 times smarter, richer, or more attractive. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Richer. Yep.
Because I can buy looks and I can
buy smarts.
I could go to school.
Mm-hmm. It seems like an obvious answer to me.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want to be smarter or more attractive, then you're just richer.
They say right. Right.
All right. That was an easy one.
Okay.
5 times smarter, then I'd be smart enough to make myself richer and more attractive. It seems like a lot of work. I would just go with richer. I like your answer as
richer.
Well. Okay, here's money. Speaking of money.
Yeah, speaking of money, 5 jobs with the most millionaires within those jobs.
Yes, the 5 jobs that have the most millionaires.
Which one of them I was like, what? That one doesn't make sense to me.
And that's number 3 on the list. Let's save that for a surprise.
Okay. All right, that's the surprise. That did surprise me. Because the regular ones are on there like engineers, accountants, doctors, lawyers.
Right.
People in management.
Yeah, there's your top 6 right there. And ironically, doctor is 6, apparently because, doctors do make a lot of money, but it costs a lot of money to become a doctor first and foremost.
Yeah.
And apparently
then they like to spend their money.
The poll found doctors aren't great in general at managing their money. Interesting. So, again, the 6 jobs, we're looking at engineer, accountant, people in management, lawyers, and doctors. But number 3 on this list, the job with the most millionaires.
Teacher.
Which, let's not jump to conclusions and say, I thought teachers were underpaid. I guess they're all making $1 million.
No, they're not.
That's not the case. But evidently, they do a good job of managing money. And part of this is because, what it says here is $1 million isn't really that much money anymore, although I think it is. Once you get close to retirement, there's an actual quote. $1 million isn't really that much money anymore once you get close to retirement. And they're also counting in this $1 million the value of your home. So, I mean, good for teachers. I mean, perhaps it includes professors and college educators.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning that the 2 ways that people reach at least $1 million in wealth in this day and age is by investing in 401k,
right,
and buying a house they eventually pay off.
That eventually pay off.
You can retire now. You don't need to get a job. You're a millionaire.
I owe more on this house now than when I bought it 20 years ago.
But if you sold it, you'd still make a profit.
True, but then, this is the funny thing people say. It's like, you could make a killing. Your house is worth so much more than you bought it. It's like, if I sell this house now and take that profit, I still can't afford the houses I couldn't afford in 2001.
It's true.
All right.
Housing is so expensive. I don't even know how I'm going to ever own a house.
And a lot of people feel that way. I feel very fortunate that we do have a house. But, I mean, the truth is, the crazy part about it, I can't even buy my house back for me if I wanted to. I can't afford to buy my own house.
Yeah.
Again, if you're going to sell and move to, I don't know
Cedar Woolley, because that's my plan. I get to help Pat build his house. Well, it's going to be our house.
I was going to say Florida or North Dakota or, I guess, Nevada to a certain extent. You say Nevada or Nevada?
Nevada.
Okay, Nevada. Then you're fine. But we want to stay in this area, obviously. I mean, you and me both as we, and also me and my wife, Dana. So there is no, we're going to take this massive profit and pay cash for a house. No. We're still, the same percentages apply. The house that I wanted in 2001 that was $400,000 is now $2 million.
All right, you're not buying a house.
I'm not buying a house. We're staying here. This I thought was funny that you actually, because I was like, who would even consider this? This is the silliest thing I've heard. And Jen's like, I do that all the time. It's a small percentage. Okay, it's 1 in 10 people.
But I'm not 1 in 10. But
I hope you're prepared for like a earth-shattering news here. A big
not
thing.
Earth-shattering.
1 in 10 people say it is always acceptable to take home the pen your server gives you to sign the check when you're done with your meal. Take home. Why would you want to take home the pen?
Because if it writes really well, like it's so smooth, I'm like, this is a nice pen. I'm going to take this one.
Yeah, but that probably
is that rude.
Well, I'm not sure, and
But I don't think it's always always acceptable. I mean, if it writes like crap.
Did I just get interrupted?
Sorry. I just don't think it's always acceptable.
But does the restaurant give those pens to the servers, or they have to buy their own pens?
I don't know.
If it's a super nice, well-writing pen, I wonder if they went out and bought that, for themselves and spent $20 or whatnot. And here you are taking it home.
Now I feel really bad.
Well, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But you're going to take home a pen that's like, hey, it says Denny's, right?
No, they usually don't even say it, their name.
Then I think it is because they were, so it's not just a Bic fine point pen.
Well, no, but it might be one that writes exceptionally well, though.
We need to find out. We'll hear from some servers. No, we'll hear from some servers if they say, yeah, take the pens. We don't care.
Or it really pisses me off when people take my pen.
And that might be the case because it was their last pen or whatever, too. It's like, now I got to go find another pen.
Maybe I should carry some pens to exchange.
That's hilarious.
Maybe I'll do that. I would do that because then I won't feel as bad taking the pen.
Or you could buy some really nice writing pens for yourself and just have them.
I could.
There's that.
It's not as fun.
Can we move on from the pen subject?
Please.
Okay.
Please help us.
I do think it was hilarious that you said, yeah, this is fine. I do this all the time. Cashless society. We're heading that way.
I was surprised that almost half of the people expect to see a cashless society in their lifetime.
I think we're almost there. I mean, you know what? I take that back because I don't know about smaller communities,
you're right.
Little towns, middle America. Maybe they're like, well, no, we don't take your fancy.
Do you still carry cash?
No. And that becomes a problem when you need to tip somebody. That's the only time I'm like, oh,
when
man.
You're at the clubs?
Not at the clubs. Uber, you do it again. That's cashless. But if you're taking an actual cab or you go to the hotel and somebody carries your bags in or whatever, you have to hang on, I got to go, but it's the ATMs are everywhere, obviously, if you want to get some money out. But I don't even carry a wallet. I mean, it's just all I have is my credit card, driver's license.
What do you carry to hold all of it? Do you have a little clippy thing?
I have the fancy-schmancy phone holder that you can drop a couple cards into. But there is room for cash as well, so we should all keep at least $20 or something.
But about 2 in 10 people say they never carry cash, so you're right. We're on our way to no cash.
And it usually is not a problem, like I said, but then you become aware of it. How do I not have $3, $5 to give to this valet?
You know when I need cash sometimes is if I buy something on Marketplace or on OfferUp.
That's true.
They want cash only. They won't do electronic. Some people will not accept electronic payment.
And this was embarrassing.
I prefer to pay that way, actually, with electronic payment.
I had to pick up, I don't remember what the prescription was. I had to pick up a prescription for Dana at Bartell's Drugs. And so I've got as a credit card, and I go, here you go. It's 47 cents.
Oh, no. Don't you have change in your car?
You would think so, wouldn't you?
No change in your car either?
I apparently threw about 7 cents in there. It was like a nickel and, I guess, 8 cents, 3 pennies. So I said, I'm really embarrassed. It's probably costing you more to run this credit card than the 47 cents. So
that's real.
There's a heartfelt apology to Bartell Drugs for making them run a credit card for 47 stinking cents. Although, remember a day, sometimes you had to write a check for that little money.
Yeah, that's true.
And I always get behind that person when I'm at the store. Can I write a check? Like, what is this, 1972?
I had to write a check. What did I have to just write a check? Oh, I just had to write a check for my insurance for Cobra.
Okay.
And I was looking back. When is the last time I wrote a check? It was 2021.
Wow. Yeah, I rarely write checks either. In fact, I know that... I can't believe I'm talking about this either. You just brought this up. There are... when you first get your checking account, they give you a box full of checks. You've got 500 or something, and 20 at a time or whatever. I have used all the checks in the box, and again, I think I got this when I opened my account at the credit union, BECU, so that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've got 3 more checks left before I'm out.
Are you going
to OUT out? Not like I can go back to the box and get the next one. So I have to order some more, I suppose. I'm going to forget about it until I need a check.
My checkbook is 3 addresses old.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Because I moved.
Yeah. So,
did you ever order your checks? Do you know, like, did you ever get the Sunday paper? I loved getting the Sunday newspaper. This makes me sound so freaking old right now.
No.
I used to, my mom would get the Sunday newspaper and I couldn't wait because I'd pull out the whole comic section and I loved going through the coupon stuff.
Right.
And in the coupon stuff, they had the kinds of checks, like different kinds of checks.
Okay.
You know, like specialty checks.
You wouldn't get it from the bank. You'd send it off.
I would send them all. I would fill out the little form and send it off and get my little Mary Englebright checks or my flowery checks.
Who's Mary Englebright?
It's this like artist that I like. She does cute little things.
Do you want to know who's on my checks? And this is not, well, this is totally me.
Who? Dogs?
Curious George.
So you got specialty checks at the bank?
No, from the bank, yeah.
But you had to pay extra for that?
No.
At BEC, you didn't have to.
Well, this was like 20 years ago.
You do now.
Okay. Anyway, so here I am, a grown 50-year-old plus man.
Curious George.
Here's my Curious George check. I thought it was funny.
I like it.
Okay, good.
I want to see them.
See if you can
Because there's probably like 4 different versions, but you only have 3 checks left, so I don't get to see all the designs.
Well.
I like this next one.
Please.
Commonly mispronounced dessert names and how to actually say them.
This is important because if you're at a fancy restaurant, they're going to come by with what I would say, hey, that's a nice cake. And they say, it's not a cake, it's a blah, 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 blah.
These are common things, like a macaron.
Well, that's common. And you said it.
I said it. Well, yeah,
it's not macaroon.
If it's a big pile of coconut with drizzled chocolate on it kind of cookie, that's a macaroon.
Well, are you sure?
Macaron are those, yes.
Because it's spelled.
Are those fancy ones that have the little, they're the little sandwiches.
I know what they are.
Inside?
Remember what we had at my wedding to Dana?
Oh, yeah. Macaron.
Yes, we had a macaron. Macaron. But I didn't know, because macaron is spelled R-O-N at the end. So is macaroon as the cookie spelled R-O-O-N? That's what I'm asking. And this is the minutia that we think about every day.
I think it is spelled the same way.
Then how could it be macaroon? R-O-N. Let's move on to beignet. All right? It's not, because it's spelled B-E-I-G-N-E-T. And I don't know, who says beignet? Beignet or beignet? Who says that?
Well, let's not.
Okay, all right.
This is why we're doing this, so we're learning together, Curt. We're not judging, we're learning together.
Well, it has a phonetic spelling as B-E-N-Y-E. But I don't know that.
It's beignet.
Beignet, right. Because before you're like, was that Y? Is that beignet?
That's the thing. It's Ben, and I do beignet.
Oh, I see.
Beignet.
But beignet. Let's say on the crepes, which are crepes.
I did not know that. I call them crepes. They're crepes.
The phonetical K-R-E-H-P-S.
I'm going to have some crepes.
Please, some crepes.
With some clotted cream in them.
Right. And because I'm just a commoner, you know this next dessert. I've not heard of it.
Well, I say it dulce de leche, but it's dulce de leche. It's supposed to be dulce.
Dulce, because that's the D-U-L-C-E, the first word. Yeah, I would say dulce if I saw that.
Dulce de leche.
But no, dulce de
leche.
De leche. All right. What's the next one? Cougamon.
This is my very favorite pastry in a French bakery, and I thought it was called Cougamon.
Cougamon. I've heard that, yeah.
And it's Queenamon.
First of all, I thought it was spelled with a C, okay, which it's not.
It's spelled funky. It's like
K-O-U-I-G-N
dash
A-M-A-N-N. And they're saying it's Queenamon?
Queenamon.
I think they're wrong.
Queenamon. I thought that in the bakery they actually said Cougamon.
All right.
It's Queenamon.
All right. Croissant is, of course, croissant. Right.
Have a
croissant. Nougat. I didn't know this. Nougat.
You don't pronounce the T.
Nougat.
Nougat. And Nutella?
Is Nutella, not Nutella.
Nutella.
You're American. Can I have some Nutella? Can I have some Nutella?
Creme brulee.
We know that is creme brulee.
Not cream brulee.
Okay.
Brulee. Not cream brulee. I guess.
Creme brulee.
Creme brulee.
Which I had a fantastic one on Friday, just so you know.
I have always pronounced this one wrong.
Eclair?
Eclair. I was called Eclair.
Okay.
I mean, that's very like eclair.
That seems like that might be a regional thing, you know.
Eclair.
But it's
that's the little like long pastry, like usually.
Oh, I know. I know what I like. But it's not an eclair.
Filling and chocolate on top.
Eclair.
Okay, this one. Go ahead.
Because I think you used to use this juice in Coca-Cola to make a cherry Coke. You don't buy a cherry Coke. You add maraschino cherries, which I thought it was maraschino.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah. Maraschino.
MARASCH.
Are those the kind of cherries that you put on top of a sundae, or are those the kind of cherries you put in an old fashioned?
I imagine it's both.
No, they're different.
Because you pop it out, it's in that juice, right?
But there's maraschino cherries are like
maraschino.
Well, whatever. Okay. There's one kind of cherry that is in the kind with the stem on it that you put on top of an ice cream sundae with the whipped cream, right?
I imagine that's well, that can just be a regular cherry, I suppose.
I don't know, but then there's the really, really delicious cherries that come in an old-fashioned cocktail. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes. So I imagine that those are the maraschino cherries, because that seems like that's what you put in a cherry Coke, or you know what I'm talking out of turn because I don't really know, but I don't know what else do you use maraschino cherries for.
What did you use then? What kind of? I would imagine that you would have used the sundae cherry in your cherry Coke. Well, otherwise, the other juice from the other cherries, the old-fashioned kind of cherries, that's thick. That is thick. It's not even juice; it's a syrup.
Right? That's what you used. I think I believe so. This is my dad teaching me this as a youngster. He's like, you don't want to go get that pre-bottled stuff. Here's how you make a cherry Coke. You put the Coca-Cola in, and then you don't even have to put a cherry in it. Just the juice from the maraschino cherries is
okay.
What he used to use.
Point is it's maraschino.
Right. And I don't know about your old fashions. I don't drink those.
Not she.
Because they're horrible old fashions. Anyway, let's move on. That's a fact.
You have not tried my roommate Jackie's old fashioned because I don't like old fashions either until she does hers with brown sugar simple syrup.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
Well, it's good, and I'll have you over to try it because it's really, really, really delicious.
Please.
Okay.
Good. So now it's been a little educational here with the mispronounced dessert names. I hope you feel confident now going out in the world.
Croissant. I'm going to
have a croissant.
And some crepes.
And an eclair.
I wonder.
No, eclair.
Eclair.
And if you have any questions, feel free to call.
Queeman. I want to go to
remember all
bakery
this
right now. It's
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche.
Tomorrow we'll be here tomorrow.
We will be here tomorrow. Every weekday we do a new show for your listening and maybe viewing on YouTube pleasure. And we would love to see you again. Mm-hmm. We're talking about what's the daily battle in your house.
That's a good one. We're going to, and hopefully we will remember
to post it
on
so
all of the anything that you want, so we're talking about our Facebook and our Instagram or whatever. We'll put it up wherever we can. What's the daily battle in your house?
You can actually comment. I think you can make comments on the platform that you're listening or watching this on.
That's true.
I know you can on YouTube. You can make comments.
And
so
Jen
please do.
Likes to put up little videos of herself because she likes to look at herself.
Oh
and
my gosh.
That last part's not necessarily true. But yeah, you like to do the videos. You're driving in the car. Hey, you know what we're talking about tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's the daily battle in your house?
You want to try that this time? Do you want to take a turn to do that?
People don't want to look at me.
Yes, they do, Curt.
People don't want to look at me.
Yes, they do.
Okay. So perhaps I will do
That's
that
what
either
we're
way.
talking about
we'll
tomorrow.
give you some options to answer that. Help us out with this. What is the daily battle in your house? We'll dive in deeper to that tomorrow morning.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yes.
In the meantime, have a great rest of your day.
Yep.
Make good choices, find joy, spread kindness, and thank you for listening.